Before I start this video, guys, I just want to tell you that we have got a transfers section on my Discord where people are advertising for people to join their faction, and people are also advertising that they want to find a faction. I can tell you that people have already found new factions because of this transfer section, and I'm really glad that's the case. In the future, we will hopefully improve it. I want to try and get a bot in there to make it a little bit more streamlined. It's very basic at the moment. I literally opened it a week or so ago, but it's already been quite successful, which I'm very happy with. So if you want to join my Discords, link in the description. But on to the video. Hello survivors, and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. In this video, I'm going to be doing a quick go over of the transfers, as Wave 2 and 3 are going to be opening in the next 2 weeks. I kind of assumed people in Wave 1 knew what was going on with transfers. The window was up for much longer and people were seemingly quite active. Wave 1 is generally the wave of regions where they're going to be either competing for War of Champions or for better rewards in War. However, they are kind of locked in those regions, and they're going to be coming up against much harder opponents. First up, if you want a breakdown of what wave your region is in, there are 3 waves, 1, 2, and 3. Generally speaking, it doesn't really mean too much, except unless you're in 1A, 1B, and then basically the rest in terms of how just War is structured. However, like I mentioned, because Wave 1A is seen as the most competitive, and Wave 1B has got some of the best rewards outside of 1A when it comes to War, other tournaments will be harder in those regions too. Level ups, survival road, because you're going to be generally competing against more players, higher caliber rosters, and generally heavier spenders, so it's going to be much harder to compete there. And you're going to have to do much more to receive probably less than you would in other waves. Now, if we go to this post, you can see at the top it says Wave Breakdown, and it has a little like triangle next to it. You click this and it expands and it collapses a big list of all of the regions, and it shows you what region is what wave. So you just have to find out what region you're in, and then where your faction is, and then you'll know what wave you're in, basically. I'll quickly scroll through this. You can pause as I go if you really want to, but I'll link to this post in my description so you can just go through it, and then you can see what wave you are, and then you can understand, in terms of the breakdown of the transfer periods, when you can transfer, that sort of thing. It looks like the majority of people are Wave 1 and Wave 3, and as you can see, Wave 1 transfer window has opened and closed, and like I said, I assume that most people know what they're doing here. When it comes to Wave 2 regions, it opens on Monday, the 2nd of March, and as it says, all Wave 2 regions may transfer to any other Wave 2 or Wave 1 region. They can transfer to any region in 1A, 1B, and 2. However, it is worth noting, which it doesn't really say here, if you transfer out of Wave 2 into Wave 1, you can never go back. Like, you're stuck in Wave 1. You can go between Wave 1A and Wave 1B. Wave 1A in the future will generally be the harder one because, like I said, all of the heavy spending factions will go to these regions because they want to potentially qualify for future War of Champions. And then Wave 1B, while it will not have as strong factions as the 1A regions will, it will still have quite strong factions because you will get better rewards in Wave 1B than you will in Wave 2 and 3. And we'll break down those War rewards in just a second as well. So as it says, Wave 2 opens on the 2nd of March and then closes on the 5th of March. So you only get a 2-day window to transfer yourself or your faction. I have done a walkthrough on how to transfer to another region. However, if you transfer when your leader transfers the faction, which is generally speaking the best thing you should do, so then you keep your faction placement in leagues, you keep everything when it comes to your tickets, that sort of thing, it all remains. It actually creates a button for you in your inbox to be able to follow your leader to that region, which is actually pretty good. Then it goes on to talk about Wave 3 transfer window, and it says begins on 9th of March and then closes on 12th of March. So you only have a few days to decide. Like again, with Wave 3, you can transfer to anyone else in Wave 3. You can also go down the numbers to Wave 2 or Wave 1, but when you go down, you cannot come back. So if you go to Wave 2, you can never go back to Wave 3. If you go to Wave 1, you can never go to Wave 2 or 3 in the future. Wave 1 can only transfer to Wave 1 regions. Wave 2 is only 2 and 1. Wave 3 is 3, 2, 1. That's basically how it works. If you're newer to the game, it might be worth sticking around in Wave 2 and Wave 3 for the moment, just until you build yourself up a little bit. Otherwise, you will find it a bit harder in Wave 1 regions. So these Wave 3 regions have got inbound and outbound turned off, and generally speaking, that is because they're newer regions, but I have seen complaints that it isn't just newer regions here, but it should be just newer regions at the top here. And then outbound is generally speaking really old regions or really like dead regions, and they don't want people going into those regions, they just want people leaving them. However, by the looks of things, it says Wave 3 outbound regions will remain permanently outbound only and will never be open to inbound transfers again. And I guess that's due to the fact that they must be really old regions. They must be, and or just like really low population regions, and they just don't want people joining them again. Now we go down to war scheduling, and it talks about the makeup for wars, and this is what I'm talking about with the increased rewards. 1A regions will continue to receive 8 versus 8 cross-region wars as primary war event. 1B regions will receive 8 6 versus 6 cross-region wars as their primary war event. And in Wave 2 and 3 regions will receive 16 regions 6 versus 6 cross-region wars as their primary war event. Now while Wave 2 and 3 do have more regions, they do have less factions in each region. So it might come out to around about the same, probably still a little bit more in Wave 2 and 3 in terms of the amount of factions just in pure number. But a good faction in Wave 2 and 3 will generally easily dominate versus a Wave 1A or a Wave 1B faction being able to easily dominate, because you're most likely going to come up against other very strong factions as well. It also talks about February Unleashed event progress and also the Davies Love missions. Basically any event that's underway while this is going, it talks about how they will progress and their ideas behind that. I will link to this post. I just thought I'd bring it to your attention in terms of what is going to be happening for the rest of the transfers. Wave 1 has already happened. Wave 2 and 3 are due to happen. Those are the times, dates, and all that good stuff. I have had questions and requests in terms of how this is going to work. It's not a big deal if you don't want to transfer. Don't be too pressured. There will be new windows in the future. Another window will probably open in a couple of months' time. Because we're outside of War of Champions, they're probably going to open it up a little bit more than what they did before until the next War of Champions qualification period starts. If you are transferring regions or you have recently transferred regions, I have actually recently transferred regions. I transferred from Chambers to Hall as a region, and so far so good. No complaints. We've had some new people join up, some familiar names from my stream, so looking forward to the next couple of months, see what it can bring. That is the end of my video though, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions about transfers, like I said at the beginning of the video, we have got a transfer section now on my Discord. Post in there if you wish to advertise for players to join your region or you wish to join another region. That is the end of my video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.